Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. Welcome back to Hills of Tuscany, my VIP Order Manager series. So if you're unfamiliar with the VIP Order Manager, this is the interface within Farming Simulator that happens when you use this mod. I've made some edits to it to make it work in this series. So if you're joining here midstream, just be aware it wouldn't quite work this way. There's some changes that were made. You can see those in kind of the setup and so forth. There's videos that are part of the series in the playlist that you can go look up if you're interested. But basically anything in green is complete. So we've delivered tables, rye, and metal to our VIPs for everything we want here. We have an ongoing issue where the thing that generates iron ore just never stops. So that's just requiring me to basically kind of make it disappear here and there every once in a while. But it's kind of a limitation we've got in the game. I've not found anything from anybody about how to stop it. Everybody said it's impossible to stop it. It just produces way more than you need for pretty much anything you need. So we're in the process of trying to get lettuce, milk, and butter, and then we'll be done with level 8. We'll be able to move on to level 9. You know, obviously I'm also trying to figure out what to do for some of these other levels. That is what we're jumping into and doing. So I'm here. One of the things that I realized, and you know, sometimes you come into something fresh and haven't looked at it in a little while, and that's what was happening with this series. And I realized, you know, I've just got this greenhouse sitting here doing nothing. Like it was doing tomatoes, the other one was doing lettuce, and I kind of just let it sit. So I cleared out the tomatoes that were standing here and started this producing lettuce, because we've got just a lot of lettuce we need to make, and lettuce takes a long time. Butter's producing at this point, and then cows are going ahead and working on milk over there, so everything's topped off for them. They've got water, they've got feed, so I am going to go ahead and head over to the next day so we can talk about things in daylight. Yeah, but the farm's got 439,000 euros over here in Tuscany, so we're doing pretty well. And we've got rye here ready to harvest, so we're going to have a little bit extra from what we need, but I need to get that taken care of so that we can then either work on the barley or triticale. So I'm going to go ahead and get the harvester dumped out, because at this point I may have a fill limit on this from the last batch I took in. But I think this is the last field. So if we look at our fields, yeah, we've got these here, this one, and this one. And yes, as you can see, everything is harvested at this point. So we're going to turn around and we're going to start, you know, probably going ahead and we're going to get something in the ground just so that we can start storing stuff up, because we want to keep moving so that when we finally finish level 8, we're in as good a shape as we can be. So I'm going to go ahead, get this field harvested. Guess I'm not quite over where I need to be. There we go. But we're going to get this thing harvested, and then we'll be back to see what we want to look at next. But we'll probably start planting, and then in the interim we'll take a look at some of the other products that we have for level 9 that we've got to look at. So I will see you in a bit. Alright, so once again, trying to be efficient, I realized I wasn't recording. Luckily I realized it quickly. So I've placed this pet supplies facility here. I don't even know that it has a name. Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Natural Pet Comforts. So this is what will build the dog houses. If we go here, we need 90 long planks, produce 95 dog houses. We need 19,000 dog houses. So that means we need 18,000 planks. We have some over here, but I don't think we have nearly that many. Yeah, it looks like maybe 9,000. So we've got about half of what we need. We don't have any wood, so we're going to have to get more wood in there over time, but we can get these planks over. So I will do that, get those over there, and we're going to get dog houses producing. I'm going to hop back over here to the field, because I know we've got to be getting close to full. Not a huge harvester we've got here, but it's kind of the nature of things. Turn around here. Get myself lined up, and as he goes down the field, we'll start to get him cleared up. And that should work out nicely. So it was a little bit slow going on the farm, but all works. Oh, is it full? I guess so. I wasn't expecting that. I was figuring he was going to come over and do something. There we go. Now, so now he's going to start moving. So now we're going to get to play this game. Trying to keep up and get him emptied, or at least get my trailer full. That's probably what's going to happen first. We'll get this then over to the silo on the farm. Whoops. That's what I was worried about. I should have checked that before. Silly me. Figured I had a fill limiter of some sort. I think 18,500 is the capacity. Yep. So it'll be able to get going, but in the meantime we'll go and get this over to the farm. So folks may just have forgotten where things are, so forth. So, this is kind of our production space. So the chimney that's running there is where we're making the dog houses. We've got some of the others for tables, and the other platinum productions, and then most of our sell points, and then we've got our Bohema processing, which don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's named that way because Bohema is potato in Italian, so it's our potato processing facility. And then our alfalfa field, if we need any of those things, I'm just kind of leaving this one to do its thing. We'll see if somehow I decide to plow that under. I don't know that I will, because it takes a little bit of effort to get the alfalfa growing, and we can do hay, straw, we can have demands for various things. VIPs haven't asked for it. We've got a good amount of wool. It's been produced by our sheep, our handy dandy trailer that allows us to pretty much work with anything, and then we've got our silo structure here, which we don't know, and there's our planting. We don't know its capacity, is what I meant. But, and then we've got our planting unit there. And most of the fields are north. Sometimes I've been using field 1 just to keep things going, but it is one of the more difficult fields to work on the farm. It is attached to the main farm ground, otherwise I'd probably just sell it off and be done with it. But it's easy enough to just ignore it if I need to. So at this point, we've got most things running that we can. So I'll go back to what the plan was now that we have the doghouse going. At some point, again, as I've shared, not a fan of logging, so I just take care of getting trees over to the lumber mill off screen, because it's just something I hate doing, I'm terrible at, and we're just kind of doing what we need as we go along, and right now we're just kind of taking out the trees that are around there. So we took one out near the church. I'm sure we'll just take another one out and get it over there. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and just plant barley, because I know that's a little simpler to deal with. It's also pretty prolific, and with 248,000 liters, once again, I think I'm going to plant everything, and that way we won't suddenly be short, and then we'll do the triticale. But I'm going to go ahead and start working on all of that. Again, if you followed this series at all, you know this is a pretty time-consuming process at this point, where there's just a lot of work off screen where things keep running. Assuming he's full again, so I didn't get back here in time. So that's the other issue. You can see kind of how things work. Things move pretty fast, even though this field's really close. So I'm sure you can only imagine what things are like otherwise. But I'm going to keep working away, and we'll be back at the next time I've got something that I think is worth sharing. So I'll see you in a bit. Doing my best to try to keep you posted of everything that's going on. So this tractor was in need of repair, so all that was done, so that chewed up a hunk of money. And now we are trying to top everything off. So we've got fertilizer and seed, and I will be heading off to go ahead and get to the fields north here. So 5 and the others are there. They're all small. They take a bit of work to get done, but I'm going to go ahead and get those planted now. But just wanted to share with you again some of the purchases and things we've got going on. Ooh, I hope I can make this always so tight. So again, if you're wondering why I don't use bigger implements so that I can move along quicker, you're seeing why. This is a tight map, and makes things a bit challenging for sure. So I'm going to get going on these fields that are just coming up there, and I'll see you in a bit. So getting a little late, coming up on 7 o'clock today. Busy planting all day long, but figured I'd check in as we get ready. We're going to have to go to do the large field, which will happen tomorrow, because there's not a huge reason to rush. We kind of talk about that relatively regularly in the series, especially at this level, because we've got such volume for VIP orders. I got there we go. That there's just days and, well, months and months, because it's, you know, one game day is a month. But we're going to stop here, and let's take a look at what we got. So, we got lettuce, milk, butter. So, if I look at this, milk, 22,000 liters. They're chewing up food. I had a good amount there. You know, I'm not sure how many. I think this is the max that we can have as far as the number of cows. So to do anything with French fries, I need some vegetable fat, which I'm going to need soybeans for. But, you know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do that till later. Okay, so for organic compost here, you know, we've got 26,000 liters. Yeah, and we're basically getting wood chips from the sawmill, so those are getting distributed here and helping us get things run. So you can see we're, you know, plugging along, but we've got a lot of compost to get, you know, and we can only store, I guess, outgoing. we've got a little bit more. So I think, well, we'll see if we can store what we need to. But it could be a bit of a challenge. Still got 12,000 liters of milk here, producing butter. So we've got, what, 6,000, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,000 liters. We need 47,000. So as you can see, not doing great. And then, you know, the reality ends up, the VIP order manager creates a little bit of a problem here and there sometimes, because again, we're going to put that in Boema processing, but then, you know, it can't take all of that. So we end up having to basically manipulate things on the back end to keep moving forward. We also have the challenge of just how this map works. It's really, really difficult to get through here. So again, I'm moving those out to the front and loading up front. But at this point, you know, we'd be at about 24,000 liters of butter. So we're about half the butter we need. So this is where you start to see, like, the rushing. There's only so much value. So, you know, I think it makes more sense to grow the crops that I need so they're stored, and then we can just deliver once we get there, and then we'll worry about soybeans, vegetable fat, and all of that, and getting some more things going at the potato processing facility. And then again, we looked at milk, but again, we may need some more milk to generate more butter. We're going to have to see where we're at. I think I put enough milk in so that we had everything we need for the butter, but we'll have to take a peek. You know, so at that point, that kind of gets us everything we need. I've still only got the 9,000 liters of planks that I put in. You can see we've already used 2,000 of them. So I'm sure we've got, well, just a couple dog houses, it looks like. So, not quite sure. Are they only 172 apiece? Because we should have more than that out here, I would think. Oh, I think that's internally. Okay, yeah, there's 1,000. Never mind. So there's 1,000, 2,000. So again, we need 19. So we'll see how this all goes, but we'll just kind of let it produce what it needs to produce, and that's going to keep going. I took down another large tree over here by the church. I'm not sure if I can actually get this stump gone. It doesn't look like it. So that's disappointing. So again, sometimes you run into some problems like that too, where things just don't do what you need. So we're going to have an issue there, you know, because there was another one here at one point. But I think we were able to do that. You know, next we'll probably take this one out. But, you know, just slowly removing the trees. We don't have enough planks yet. We almost have 1,000. You can see we're at 979, but you can see we've got 20,000 liters of wood from that tree in there. So good amount to keep going, but basically we are doing everything we can to get our VIPs to be where they need to be, but it just takes some time. So my plan is tomorrow to plant that other field. No, I didn't do 22 yet. I forgot about that. So I'm probably going to get 22 done tonight, and then head over and do 77 tomorrow. But you can see the other 5 here have been planted. So I'm going to get going on that to get done before before midnight rolls around, and I'll see you in a bit. So back here several months later, just been letting things grow, monitoring all the things that I showed recently that were getting taken care of. So making progress on butter, making progress on lettuce, and so forth. So this is the day before several of the fields are going to pop for harvest. So what I wanted to do was go ahead and we're going to head over to the greenhouses, and I think I'm going to clear out as much lettuce as I can because we need 66,000 liters of lettuce. So let me get there. Alright, we are here. Kind of a sloppy yard at this point, but it's what we got. There we go. So it'll start loading. It takes a while. We can see we've got both greenhouses moving along. I've cleared out a little bit from each one. Okay, it's pulling from both sides actually, which is nice. So, you know, I know it's the middle of the video per se, but this is the earliest I could do it without doing a whole lot of weird editing and so forth. But, you know, I did want to make sure that I acknowledged, it's been a very long time since I have, you know, gone ahead and let me get out of here and we'll move this one over. Since there's been a video on the series, you know, and I've been telling folks, you know, it'll be coming. Don't worry about it. Now that Farmers Only Club is no more for FS. Whoops. I guess I do have to do the switch. That's I don't want to get too close to the tomatoes. It shouldn't grab them, but you know how stuff goes sometimes. Okay, so interesting. Because it was pulling from both sides, and now it just won't. But alright. So I'm going to have to get near one side, so let me do the big side. And then we'll go from there. So there we go, and hopefully it doesn't look like it's going to grab those back two slots, but that's alright. But you can see how challenging it is to get to 66,000. But yeah, now that Farmers Only Club is done, why is it not triggering? Yay. So much fun. So much fun. You know, one of the things I've been doing is still monitoring, is there any interest in doing anything with Farming Simulator 25, and frankly there is not. Come on. This is ridiculous now. Do I have a fill? No, but I do have to reset that. This is insanity. Like, it should absolutely be picking this up now. Okay. So we'll get 2,000 more there, so I think that should take it, because it's, I think, 500 per pallet, so each stack is a couple thousand. You know, and the thing is, like, if I can get it to trigger like it should, then take them all. There we go. So I can see it's grabbing all of them. But, you know, these single-player series, and I say that plural, not intentionally and honestly not intending to do anything, but I may then do something else after we're done with Italy here. So that's more the discussion there. But my intent is just kind of hang out in the hills of Tuscany for a little while and just enjoy it as much as we can. But my intent is also not to have, you know, 8 months or 9 months go by between episodes, because obviously that's not what people are looking for. But I've been a little concerned about getting back in here, honestly, just because I knew what the workload is. We're in that big waiting space. I mean, at this point, you've seen it. We're, man, it is just not gonna grab that last pallet, is it? Oh, there we go. All right. So that's a scary thing. We've only got 24,000 liters, I think. is where we'll end up. Out of 66,000 with all this time, that's where we've gotten. There's not a great way out of here. But, you know, it's not that I don't enjoy playing Farming Simulator. I mean, I don't want to imply that. Flight Simulator, definitely. It's just, there's just a lot more happening. So it's just a little bit easier to be like, ooh, I've got this, I've got that. I'm not sure that I can make this turn, but we're gonna, oh, okay, we can. So we'll go here. You know, the trick is not to mistakenly, come on, really? Freed up there. Oh, I need to see where I'm going. So we're taking this to Mercato Central, which is over on the main strip. So let me get over there. So Mercato Central is the first brown building there next to the potato processing. So that is where I need to get. So I may go around to the right and take a little bit bigger swing. But this should then allow everything to work. Oh, I've got a lot of, oh boy, I probably have more premium potatoes than I want. I've got to go take a look at that. I did turn that on in potato processing. Alright, so there we go. Lettuce is going down, and in the meantime, we're going to head over here, because these are, let's see, 1, 2, so we got 8, 16,000. Let me just take a look at what we have in the potato processing. Premium potatoes, so we've got 7,000. So that's 23. So yeah, I only need like another, so we got 21,000, basically 23,000 in lettuce from Mercado Central. So we've got that taken care of. And probably go move some butter. That's going to take some work because I got to get the butter out to the street and all that. So I'll get that work done. It's just, you know, getting stuff out there. Like I said, it's at the point where, yes, I'm doing a bit of things, you know, in full transparency. You know, I'll use super strength to move pallets, this, that, and the other, just because, you know, this isn't a realism series, and moving 100 pallets with a forklift, that's just not what we're doing here. Now, I do have the reality that in the past it used to be like, hey, my kind of realism is in my multiplayer. Obviously, I no longer have a multiplayer because they've stopped with FS22. You know, they're phasing us out, and it was easy in my case because what I was doing was operating the greenhouses because I just didn't know if I wanted to deal with kind of the repetition there, knowing that nothing was changing. And basically they said, well, there wasn't enough activity because I think I had spent like 15 minutes in there in the last 30 days because the greenhouses were pretty simple to work with. And I didn't realize that that wasn't okay until it was too late. And then, you know, I kind of pleaded my case a little bit, like, hey, I'd like to keep the farm, but... And that's when they were like, well, that amount of effort isn't really effort. So that is why that is no longer. So I don't want to imply that Farmers Only Club got rid of everything. Hey, there's a collectible here. If you're doing that on the maps, that'll give you free money. But obviously we're not doing that, because that's not what this series is about. So let me get the butter on here, and I'll be back. Alright, last pallet should be about 25,000 butter. And we need 47, well, we now need 35, so good news is we're getting close. Bad news is I got to figure out what to do because it goes in the potato processing plant, and I think it's full of butter. So let me see if I can find a way to make it do what I need it to do to be able to continue. But this is exactly kind of the type of stuff in general that frankly makes a series like this, I mean, challenging, whether I was recording it or not. The recording of it or getting it on the channel is not the problem, you know, because I just snip out things. But part of why it took as long as it did is I still think I need to harvest the barley to kind of give a complete episode or have enough material to even get anywhere near half an hour of material, which is kind of what a typical episode would be. So, but I've probably spent over a year in game just moving things forward, this, that, and whatever. Because again, I've got butter here, and it's not accepting it because you can see it only takes 10,000 liters of butter. But unless I'm producing something that uses butter, then I have a problem, and I don't have anything I need that produces butter, so wasting other material to use butter is a pain. But anyway, let me dig around, see if I can do some stuff with the magic of the power tools, and we'll go from there. I found a way to do it. It's kind of a pain, honestly. Because when you have stuff with production buildings and they can't output anything, because yes, I'd have to make mashed potatoes to use butter, for example, and then I need to use milk, and then I need to use other things that I need in other places. But you can see I have no spare capacity for butter. I got a little worried because the butter started running because there were some pallets here, but now I filled 10,000. So basically, I have to empty this building, and if you're ever doing anything like this, just for in the future, you basically have to edit your save game files. So it's in the placeables.xml is where I found it. It took me a little while. And you just reset the 10,000 to 0. But what I'm doing is I'm basically losing any value for this butter. Because since I own this production building, I wouldn't get any money until I sell some product that I give to a building that I don't own. And it's not this. So what I need to do now is save the game, so you know how to do that, and then quit the game, go edit the file, load the game back up, then it'll load another 10,000, and then go and do it again, and then it'll load what's left on the truck, and then we'll see where we're at. So I will go through those machinations, and we'll see how much butter we've finally delivered. So here we go. You can see the butter going in. So we need about 9,000 more butter. Alright, so it's 15 milk to 13 butter. I have 10,000 milk. I haven't output any yet. I'm thinking I'm a little short of milk. But the challenge becomes, like, I also need to deliver milk. But, and there isn't much milk happening either. So if I go here, we've got 53,000 milk, like I have plenty of milk, but, and we're out of TMR, of course. Hey! Alright, so we've moved over TMR, and we've got everything operating in the cow barn to continue producing more milk, because obviously we ran out of milk at some point. How exciting, right? But, that's the thing. Like, I need milk for this, and then it goes in. And again, French fries don't use any butter. They use vegetable fat, which comes from soybeans, which I think I talked about earlier. We're getting closer to getting a few things done, but, that's why I'm working on getting ahead. We're getting close on the dog houses. Let's take a look over there. So it's still producing dog houses. You can see 4483, 4484 will come up soon. And we have, I think, 8,000 out here. And we need 19,000. So, I think it'll get us close, so we're just going to keep pounding away. But again, I put 8,000 planks in here or something, and it took 4 or 5 months to get this far. So this is the reality of what we're looking at. The organic compost is slowly going. I think this is going to take an eternity. So I think that's going to be the hold point for level 9. Just like, honestly, the lettuce is kind of the hold point here for level 8. Because, you know, I have not really... I've been just doing the work, but not advancing time. So I've been sitting here delivering all those loads, and you can see I've gotten a whole... Between the 2 greenhouses, I've gotten a whole 1,000 liters, you know, of lettuce against the 42,000 liters I still need. So that is why, like, within game, there isn't this rush, like, oh, you know, like, yes, my dairy ran out of milk, but I'm going to be waiting for the lettuce for a long time, and I still have to produce milk. And so that's the thing. I'm likely going to be able to grow all the barley and triticale I need for level 9. The dog houses should certainly be done. The French fries are going to be easier enough because I'm making those premium potatoes for the French fries. You know, and at least they're 1-to-1. It's just then I likely don't have enough vegetable fat, so I'm going to have to get more soybeans, because again, I could produce it from sunflower oil, canola oil. You know, you've got all of them are optional, and the least efficient way is soybeans, but otherwise I need to go to an oil mill and grow crops. And so is it really the least efficient way? Probably not. So hopefully that's explaining a little bit about why it takes so long. And you know, and it's not like I've been playing consistently on this series for 9 months in the background. I don't want to imply that, but it is a bit of a mental mountain to climb, where it's like I'm looking at, you know, 10 hours in the game before I can record anything else or something. Because that's the thing, like when I start harvesting the fields now, it's just throwing everything onto courseplay and letting it do its thing. So in any event, that's where I am at. So I am going to advance things, start harvesting the barley. You know, maybe we'll add a little bit into the video for that, just so you've got that. But that is likely where I'm going to end things. But I just wanted to be upfront, even though it's kind of in the middle of this episode, as to what is causing the delay. But now this is my farming simulator focus, is this series. So anytime I do anything with farming simulator, it should be in here, other than continuing to track mods worth noting to see if, again, something draws me back. But right now, nothing has been introduced that we haven't already had. I mean, yeah, they've got courseplay back in FS25, but I just used courseplay here for an hour or so, finishing up the liming of the fields and things like that, that, again, I did off camera just to maximize production of my barley as much as I can, so that hopefully I can get all 248,000 liters that I need and not have to plant more barley to meet that need. But the reality is, you know, between these, we may be running into, you know, I need 450,000 liters plus whatever I already have. I'm not sure the capacity of my silo. I may start to hit something where I just need to leave crops sit on the field until I can get to them, because I run out of room. Because again, I can't start fulfilling these level 9 orders until I finish the level 8 orders. So I will see you in a bit. Just popping back in here, harvesting the barley. But I've also gone ahead in trying to look at everything, because right now we're just at that point where money is heading out. But part of what I am trying to do here is go ahead and also make some progress on other things. So if you remember, I said the compost is going to be my biggest concern. Well, at this point, all the wood has been processed right now for in the wood location. I might need to move some more things to get some more dog houses done, but I know there's plenty of planks over there already. But basically the wood chips were what was producing stuff for the compost, and those are done. And we only have 34,000 liters of I think 243,000 liters of compost. So looking at other ways to make compost, we can use both grass and alfalfa. So I am going to take advantage of my grass fields. So while they're harvesting and all that, I've got 105 that's been mowing. I started around 5 a.m. this morning, so we had to move a couple more months till the barley was ready. We also have enough butter to complete the butter delivery, which is in this level of VIP orders. So, things are moving, but it's exactly kind of what I said, and what is the challenge with this series at this point, in that I'm not showing you every last excruciating detail, because you'd have 30 hours of work just for this segment. We finished field 22 here. We have about 28,000 liters of the 243,000. So as I say, the compost is 243. No, it is 243, but the barley's 248. So I was like, wait a minute. I know that's 240. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm not. So I am trying to get at least one load to the biogas plant to start churning out more compost. I'm also assuming that this is going to be faster, because I know it's 1-to-1 with the grass and the alfalfa. The alfalfa simply processes faster. It looks great. It looks like the lawnmower stuck on the power tower, the high tension power lines. I'm not trying to be a poet, and I didn't even know it, but anyway, you can see it is, well, no, you can see the windrower, which we're not using, because that's a nice thing. That's why I'm like, it's not like I have to turn it into hay. It's not like I need to do anything. So it's not like full, and if I had to, I did, but, I would, but it's not the situation. But you can see the mower there at the base, and it does tend to get stuck. So we'll go worry about that. We'll get this lined up so it's in decent shape to begin with. Now, the problem is it's like, so we'll go up there. We'll then go around kind of this way, do the best we can, and then it will, I think, come back and get most of it when it goes by. But I'll just get some of this done, and hopefully it won't be a nightmare to pick up. It probably will be, but you know how that goes. So yes, obstructions everywhere. It is the hills of Tuscany. It's one of the reasons, I think aside from the fact I think a lot of players are from Europe for Farming Simulator, but it's also one of the reasons I think that, people do enjoy the European maps, because they're just, they're not wide open spaces like if you're doing a Great Plains thing, like the Nebraska map that I've got, the 4X thing that I played around with a little bit. Alright, let's see. If I do this now, it should continue, and then hopefully it will stop and turn and do its thing. Yes. So that means I can go here, put the pickup head down, and start picking up grass. And again, we should get, I think this is 50,000 or 60,000 liters in here, so we're going to be able to get a lot. But this is exactly, I kind of wanted to just pop in and show you, like, this is what I mean when there's just a lot going on. So it's just a lot of work off camera to get you at this point to what you need to see. In the beginning of any of these series, the orders are small. You can do things pretty quickly, but when you need 240,000 liters of something, in this case we're moving 240,000 liters of grass and or alfalfa. So the nice thing is, as I said, I think this will be a quicker way than the wood chips were to get me where I need. And so that will be the plan, but I'm going to go ahead and get that going and get done with the barley. And I think I'm not going to pop in until basically I'm done with the barley to just tell you, did I make the 248 that I need, or am I still going to have to plant more barley, which would be really insane, but we shall see. So I'll see you in a bit. So the continued saga of things that just are entertaining when you go and do this work. So I've still got to get field 77 done. I'm pretty confident we're going to have enough because I am over 200,000. I have 203,000 liters right now. And I'm guessing we're going to get at least 70,000 liters of barley off of field 77. But it looks like it's going to snow until 2 p.m. And I think this is going to be considered precipitation / rain, and it won't let me harvest. So we're going to take a look at that, but we'll head on over. So what I've been mulling over, so I'm going to use this time to not then drag stuff out at the end when I'm just sitting. I need vegetable fat to produce French fries, and I don't have that, and the easiest way to get it is soybeans, because otherwise, as we've talked about, I'd have to generate oil, which means I need to grow other crops, put them in an oil mill, wait for oil, so it doesn't make any sense. And yes, it's not as efficient, because 1 unit of oil is, 1 thing of vegetable fat, where it takes 2 soybeans to make 1 thing of vegetable fat. But in the end, it doesn't take 1 sunflower to make 1 thing of sunflower oil. So it kind of all adds up and is the same. As we go here past the dairy, I have moved all the butter out here, so when I'm ready to do that delivery, I just need to pull up, and that is the 9,000 liters of butter that should complete that order. But we're still waiting for lettuce, so it doesn't honestly matter much what we're doing. So anyway, based on that, and making the assumption, which you will know at the end of this video if the assumption is right, because I am still committed, even though it's going to take another hour or whatever, I don't know, because the problem with 77 is hauling, and the fact that I've got an 18,000 liter trailer, and then we've got big hills between the silo and all that. Like, the harvester keeps stopping, and I can't make it there and back before it's done. So that's the challenge. But based on that, assuming I make the barley, I think I'm going to plant maybe field 11 with soybeans, and then do everything else with triticale, but that will be next episode. So, but that's my thinking right now, to kind of give myself the best position. The compost is running. I think the compost is going to take forever as well. So, that's not incredibly helpful for anybody. So, as you saw, harvesting reduces yield. Yay. So, we used a little bit, and we got 18 liters, but we're not going to harvest. So, I'm going to let this snow end, and we'll come back. In the meantime, maybe I'll go look at the dog houses or whatever, but I think that's where I'm at, and so should just be coming back to let you know how much barley we ended at. So I'll see you in a bit. Another late night here in January, but this is the final load of barley. So we have beaten a goal by several loads, so we may be up. We needed like 248,000, and we may be coming up around 300,000. So as long as we don't start running out of silo space, that's the only potential hiccup we could have. So looking forward, we have about 12,000 liters of triticale already. Didn't mean to hit that. Been doing this over and over, and kind of developed a quick system to just turn around. But yeah, still was barely getting going back before it was full. But barley's at the top, so yeah, we're gonna be at like 285-ish type of thing. In the 280s. We're not gonna go too much further than that. There you go. Not quite 287, but close. So I am gonna park this, and more importantly, I know, this was a long time coming. I do apologize. Definitely not going to be the case going forward. So the episodes will come out more frequently is the goal. Now, again, I can't promise super frequently or how frequently because, again, it was still a lot of work. Once I kind of turned the spigot back on, really focusing here, I probably still spent 3 or 4 days in the game for multiple hours each day to get there. But there was a reality that I probably had not touched Hills of Tuscany for about 5 months while I was really just focusing on Flight Sim and other things and so forth. And obviously some of that was because Farmers Only Club was going and I was keeping busy, but then once I kind of decided, all right, I'm not going to 25, therefore I'm not going to kill myself over there. Things backed off, but I didn't return as quickly. So even though it has been, because I think it was May, well, I know it was the May when I've recorded the first episodes that are used in, or the first videos that are used in this episode. So it's been 8 months of accumulating material, but as I said, 5 of those months were probably spent where I didn't touch it. So there was, a time I revisited it for a little bit late last year, still realized I got to get through the barley harvest. I kind of set that as the goal, knowing that once I trimmed everything out, that would still make it a decent episode. But we got that done, and so I do not expect, however long it was, it may have been a year since I've had an episode in this series, but as I've always committed, I work really hard not to just end a series and never come back and at least give you 5 minutes and say, yep, I'm wrapping this up and there's nothing else that's going to be coming. I don't actually like that on other channels when they tend to do that. And obviously, yes, things that I'm like just taking a peek at a new sim or something and I do 1 or 2 episodes and then never come back to, that's a little different. But when I've started a series like this that's really been ongoing for 5-10 episodes, it's pretty rare for me to walk away. So for those who thought maybe that had happened, that was never the intent. If nothing else, if I had gone to 25, I would have, this would have been a wrap-up episode, but it's not, because I'm still not seeing anything. Again, I haven't done a mods worth noting for a while. That'll happen tomorrow. So we'll see if something suddenly tickles my fancy. But there's a new PGA Tour coming out that I'm going to have to get used to in a little bit, and just real life has gotten crazy. So, which is cut into the simming time, and that's just how it goes. So I will be back, but thanks for following along, and for those who have come back, who have made it to the end, thank you. I definitely don't want people feeling that I have no interest in Farming Simulator. I do. I have a lot of interest in Farming Simulator. I just don't have a lot of interest in the treadmill of jumping on new versions any longer that really don't do anything. So hopefully there will be an audience still here that's interested in just good content for Farming Simulator, where we're doing something a little different using the VIP Order Manager, and that will make it entertaining and have you come back. And certainly the fact that there aren't going to be a flurry of episodes because it takes so long probably will make it easier for people to consume an episode every few months or something. So in any event, I'm going to wrap this up, As always, if you've enjoyed this and haven't dropped a like or are not a subscriber, please consider those things. As I continue to try to grow the channel, greatly helps to just get the word out and get things going. Over the end of the year, I was just very humbled and amazed by how busy the channel got, but that seems to be dying off now at the start of the new year. So just hoping to continue expanding and get to that point where we're a little bit more self-sustaining, and that it shows that there's some interest out there. As always, including your comments, anything you've got that would make it more interesting, more enjoyable, or things you might like to see, and I can see if there's time to delve into them or not, or interest on my part. But I will see you next time.